I'm just going to prepare an astrodoodle for you. Greetings. Hello, Lily Lynn over there in Austria. Hello, Love Triber. Love Triber's still in bed, but needs to get up and moving to start her day. Love Triber's in Las Vegas. Lily Lynn is in Austria, near Vienna. So this is the Astrodoodle for today. Don't be scared. It's just another day. This too shall pass. Things have shifted a little bit. Venus is right on the cusp here of Gemini entering Cancer. So things are going to get all kind of warm and fuzzy in a while as Venus moves into Cancer. Very nice for the home. And Mercury is heading into Leo. Hello, Nikki. Oh, okay. No notifications. Yeah, well, welcome to the new world of YouTube. So, and the sun is over here in Leo. Let me just go up a little closer. There's the sun in Leo. There's Mercury. It just entered Leo, about 0 degrees. Venus is heading into Cancer very soon. So, that'll be sweet for the Cancerians. Uranus is in Taurus. Mars is in Aries. Chiron is in Aries. Neptune and the moon are both in Pisces, so there's a very dreamy kind of spacey energy right now. And over here, of course, the reality check police in full strength. Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter sitting there. Just sitting there. Okay, and they're not in any hurry. So let me check in with you guys and say hi. Let me see if I can actually see you, see if you can see me. Yay! Here we go. Greetings, this is Terra Lumination. Let me see. Terra Lumination is over here right now in Las Vegas. Thank you very much. It's very, very hot here. Love Triber is over here. Nikki is over here. And Lily Lynn is right there. So there you go. I don't know why the notifications do or don't work. Everything, I started the show a few minutes early, trying to get ahead of things, and then everything crashed. So there you go. It happens frequently. It's the world of the internet. With the way things that we do here, hi Nikki, the way things that we do here, I put a lot of pressure onto the internet. In case you're not aware of it, there's another map that I have that shows you all of the internet cables all across the world that connects everywhere with the big cables. Like, we have huge cables that go all the way across here and up to Europe. We have huge cables that go over here. We have huge cables that go all the way from here over, to like the Asia. Huge cables, like pipelines, okay? And so, oh my gosh. If you hear funny noises in the background, it's my little furry friend. His name is Bubba, and he's a cat. It sounds like he wants to be on camera. Stay right there. Enjoy the screen. Hello. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Come on. It's time for you to meet the world. It's time for... Here's Bubba. This is my new friend. He's furry. And we've become buddies. He's a little perplexed. He's not quite sure what to do. He's not used to running a YouTube channel. But as you know, cats are very, very famous on YouTube. So this is now another famous cat on YouTube. You see? I'm not sure how long he wants to sit here like this. I'm not sure how long I can hold him like this. I'm trying to do a show. What do you think? What do you think? He doesn't really know what to do. He just likes having a cuddle. So yeah. Yeah. I see you. He likes to have his chin rubbed. Okay. Black kitten. Okay. So there he is. This is Bubba, the tectonic cat. Okay, I have to go and do the show. He might be back. He likes to hang out here now. There's not much I can do about it. He's sort of like, he's kind of adopted me. He now owns me. And I have to adapt my life to his schedule. Yeah. We all need friends. So, this is all improvised, by the way. So, the sort of things that I wanted to chat about today are to do with, again, it's the same old thing we've been talking over and over and over. It's global restructuring. But I want to just look at it from a different perspective. Now, when you look at the planets, okay, let's go back over here for a second. When you look at the planets, the way they are right now, Mars is in Aries here. Mars is the, rules the head, rules the self, the newborn self. And Mars, as you can see, is in a very, very hard alignment with the Capricorn energy over here. These are the reality check police. Pluto is the great destroyer. Jupiter is the great optimist, the great healer, the great benefic. Saturn is the great teacher and the police officer, the enforcer, making sure that things get done the way that they're supposed to be done. So there's very little room to hide here. And as you know, I've been talking about this over and over. This aspect here leans very, very heavily on the United States. The United States is born with a very, very important placement right here. The United States is born with Pluto in Capricorn right here, and Pluto is in Capricorn right here today, right now. So we're just a few degrees away. We've talked about this. And so this is not going away. What's happening is it's like a slow motion demolition movie. Okay? When you watch those skyscrapers collapsing, but you do it in very slow motion. Have you ever seen those videos on YouTube where it shows you skyscrapers that are imploding? It's sort of what's happening to the United States right now. It's impossible to stop. A while ago, we had the sun in Cancer over here, and there was a lot of tremendous opposition. I don't know if you remember that, but the United States was convulsing as the sun opposed Pluto, and Pluto opposed the sun. We had the last of the eclipses. The sun has now moved on into Leo. But we're still dealing with huge aftershocks. Now, for example, here, even though Mercury is in Leo, it's still in very, very hard square by angles to the Capricorn planets. So that makes it very, very difficult for things like commerce, communications, miscommunications. So what I see happening is like this exposure of what I think of as a massive optical illusion. See over here, this energy of illusions, okay? This is the beautiful energy of Neptune. It's the energy of artistry, imagination, divine connection to heaven, our direct connection to heaven here on Earth. You put the moon and Neptune together like we have today, there's a lot of energy for like divine inspiration, okay? And there's also the prospect, because this is the house of open enemies, there's also the prospect here of illusion and delusion, deception, betrayal, lies, okay? Which is what is happening in the global world of communications right now, because global communications are under extreme pressure, okay? Now, the Leo energy is over here, and what it's doing right now, it's lighting up the Leo North Node of America. America has a Leo North Node. America is born with the moon in Aquarius down here. So what's happening is America is being forced to become a shining light, a beacon, all the classic wonderful energies of a Leo type of identity. So in other words, have a look at this. This is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. So, like with the planets the way they are right, and with the Leo season right now, the United States is being forced basically by the planets. Let's see, I love to blame the planets for everything, as you know. It's really, really helpful for getting on in life, okay? Hello, Robin, I see you. Hello, Nikki. Yes, he's very cute, okay? So, America is born with an Aquarius south node, very, very close to its moon in the south node. So America is born and built with a huge like capacity for humanitarianism, the desire for freedom, the desire for community, the desire for we, the people, to be the main focus. Okay? And that's what we have built into our Constitution over here. I'm still learning about it, and next week I'm going to show you more stuff about America and the Constitution. But for now, I'm just going to improvise. So right now, we're heading into the middle of Leo season, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on America to be its most bold, courageous, let's say, magnanimous, inspiring, generous, kind, benevolent, loving, inspiring, highly, super, hyper creative, hyper imaginative, very self-expressive form of leadership. Okay? So it's kind of a heavy responsibility the way I look at it. The way I see it is that when I look at all the charts in kind of a cluster, if I put everything into a blender and went what I'm seeing is that America as we know it today is collapsing. It's showing in the financial markets, in politics, economics, society, behavior, health, all those things. America, more than anywhere else on earth right now, in terms of the scale with the China virus, is going, okay, hold on, I got to shut the door. Stay there. Okay, had to take care of that in case Bubba wants to take over the show again. So what I see happening is right now here in Leo season, the United States is being pressured, led, induced, just like a person. Let's say you're born with a Leo North Node. You would be feeling a strong urge right now to be more and more like a classic, bright, shiny Leo in the best expression of Leo, okay? And luckily, a really healthy Leo expression is very good for everybody who gets to be near the Leo energy. And Leo corresponds to the sun in terms of astrology. And so the way I see it is that America has an obligation, a very heavy obligation to constantly learn how to grow and expand ever more into being a shining light, a beacon of hope, a beacon of love and healing, an instrument of love and healing. I mean, maybe I'm sounding over the top, but there are a lot of people across the world who look to America as the shining beacon of hope, salvation, freedom, against all the other oppression type of energies, okay? For example, all the oppression from over here in China. There's a lot of corruption over here, a lot of corruption over here, sadly a lot of corruption here, a lot of corruption over here, and we're all trying to figure it out. And, you know, it's kind of like an evolutionary process for the whole of planet Earth right now, and I feel that America is being tested, okay? America is still very, very new as a population on the global scale. You know, we've got 7.5 billion people now, and let's see, what was it, about 180 years ago, We only had 1 billion people on Earth. Okay? So it's a lot of pressure. Huge changes have happened all over the world, like the way the tectonic plates move. These are the tectonic plates, okay? Here is the Africa plate. Here is the Pacific plate. Here's the North American plate. Here's the Eurasian plate, okay? And they're all shifting around. Have you ever tried to crack the shell on a hard-boiled egg? And sometimes it gets slippery and slides around, and you get all these crusty bits that move around. Okay, that's sort of what happens with the tectonic plates. Okay, they shuffle and move against each other because the surface of the Earth is constantly moving and changing due to the effects of its own movement, and also because of the gravitational pull of the planets. And right now, with all of this going on, hello, Sarah Nova. Hola, hola. So there's a lot of stuff here in the astrology that indicates to me personally, as an amateur wannabe astrologer, that there's huge volatility over here with Mars and Aries, putting a lot of pressure on all the Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter in Capricorn. That's a lot of very hostile pressure, okay? At the same time, Uranus is in Taurus over here. It's not quite in hostile territory yet, but it's soon going to be in hostile territory over here, okay? So what these things indicate to me personally is, more and more bizarre, convulsive things in the weather on planet Earth, like earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, tornadoes, and like those weird things that they had, like in China recently, Did anybody see that thing about how they had snow over here in Beijing in the middle of summer? Okay, so that's a bit freaky. There's a lot of weird stuff happening right now. So let me get back to North America over here. I believe that America as an entity, as an idea, as a population, as enshrined in what we call our Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights, it's still a very new concept. The whole idea of we, the people, hold our leaders accountable. That's a relatively new concept for human behavior, because a lot of places over here and here and here and here are ruled and operated by a lot of very corrupt, let's say, almost like dictatorial, totalitarian regimes, okay? Over here, it's tremendous pressure, okay? And this whole idea of democracy is still a very new thing for humanity. People have been trying for a long time, but there's a lot of, the common people, we the people, decided that we're sick of, being dominated and controlled and operated by these monarchies over here in England telling us what to do and taking all our money and taxes. And so they set up a new place. They called it the United States of America, and we basically wrote up a new operating system, a new way of living, and we put it on paper, and we hold these truths to be self-evident. And now America lives according to this truth. However, this truth that was established exactly one Pluto cycle ago. Okay, let me go back, okay? Egg salad sandwiches? What are you talking about? Oh, you're still talking about the egg thing. Okay. So, as you know, we've talked about this before. Pluto is sitting here right now, okay? And in terms of the United States astrology, it's just completing, it just happens to be completing one Pluto return, okay, which takes about 250 years. And so here we are today. So what I believe is happening is that the United States is going through its Pluto return. Okay? And in that Pluto return, we are seeing sort of the similar things that happen with a Saturn return. Some of you, I'm sure some of you have heard of this, like the Saturn return, and it's kind of a scary thing. Like when everybody, human beings, when we reach the age of about 29 and a half years old, it's very precise. It's like a ticking clock. We experience this thing that astrologers call the Saturn return. And what tends to happen for a lot of people, it can be a very bumpy, miserable time, because what happens on the Saturn return is you are exposed to everything that coulda, woulda, shoulda been done in a healthy, successful way had you made a life of very, very good decisions, all the way from birth, how your influence, the way you're raised, your nature, your nurture, your family, your school, everything. By the time all of that stuff influences you, plus your genetics, whatever. And then when you reach about 29 and a half, it's like a huge reality check for a lot of people. Most people who study things like amateur astrology are aware of this. They realize, oh my God, at age 29 and a half, I really had a bit of a wake-up call in my life. Like, I coulda, woulda, shoulda done this or that. I've screwed up so much. How am I ever going to recover? Well, guess what? You have another chance, because if you're lucky and you can live through another Saturn cycle up till the age that you're, let's say, close to 60 years old, then you have a chance to repair and fix all the mistakes that you made in the first Saturn cycle. Okay? So, because Pluto moves so slowly, you can't go through a Pluto cycle in one human lifetime. Okay? It doesn't work. So we're left trying to figure it out as humanity. And so for the United States, it just so happens that the United States is coming to its own Pluto return. And so what I feel is happening is something very similar to what happens in a Saturn return, only it's on a much bigger scale. The Pluto reality check police are here, okay? And so what I think is happening for the United States, more than anywhere else on Earth, is a massive Pluto return. Okay? And so what's happening in America is that the United States is now seeing inside of itself everywhere that it has failed itself, everywhere that it has betrayed itself, exploited itself, abused its power, abused its ability to be an amazing thing, squandered its original intentions as described in the Declaration of Independence. And so what's happened now, I believe, is that inside the United States, here, we are seeing like the very, very worst of ourselves as a population, and how we have betrayed ourselves. We, the people, have allowed our elected leaders to betray us. Now, are we holding them accountable? Are we taking them out of office like we give ourselves permission to do? Not really. From what I can tell, the people who have figured out how to take advantage of the American system have placed themselves into a position of power where they operate from here now as though they are, the original oppressors. So I now believe that America is now living, you see, there's a boundary here. This was the original problem between Great Britain and the United States. That problem is over, and now we're friends. We have evolved, but now we are living with ourselves inside of our own tectonic plate. We have our own boundaries all the way here, okay? We live inside our own tectonic plate, and we are now accountable to ourselves and each other. And we can now see as a population, including our elected leaders, we have our Democrats, we have our Republicans, and all of that stuff, where I believe that we, the people, have been hijacked by the powers that be, who are now the powers that be over here, because we have been, I would say, spiritually lazy, and we have been allowed ourselves to be spiritually conned. and exploited by people who figured out how to subvert and exploit the shadowy side of the Pluto and Capricorn imprint on which we were born. Now, the beauty of the United States is that we're born with the Sun in Cancer opposing Pluto in Capricorn, okay? So that's a tremendously powerful opposition. And in an even more powerful opposition is Mercury in Capricorn. Mercury is the planet of commerce, exchange, intercommunications, commercial trade, all the stuff that we see as business and interactions and, swiping cards, debit cards, bank account, all those kinds of things. It's in the American house of other people's money, and Pluto in Capricorn is in the American house of its own money. So the United States of America is very, very much about money, wealth, and power. How do we create money, wealth, and power? How do we exploit money, wealth, and power? How do we optimize and make the best of this most amazing, beautiful thing that we have here, so that we do not become our own demonic version of ourselves? We have allowed this to happen. We, the people, now live in a country where we have basically been stripped to the bone. Okay? We have allowed it to happen. And I think a lot of it is because of partly ignorance. From what I can tell, I was never taught this stuff in school. I was never taught about the significance or the importance or the value of our Constitution. I'm very interested in freedom of speech. You know all these things. We've talked about it before. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press, the right to bear arms and to protect ourselves, no taxation without representation, the right to hold our leaders accountable, the right to elect our leaders, and we pay for them to work for us. We don't work for them. And the idea that we enshrine it, like the pursuit of happiness, the whole concept of we the people have an identity, and every single individual has a right to their own identity. Now, if you've noticed, inside the United States, especially from big companies operating over here and here and here, there are certain big corporations, hint Pluto and Capricorn, who do not like the truth about our Constitution. What I believe is happening is they're exploiting our Constitution and exploiting the people, and the people are getting suckered. We've all been conned. We've all been had, and it's still happening today. We've talked about the Federal Reserve owning the debt farm, and the federal government operates the debt farm, and we're all a bunch of slaves. Sorry, we're all a bunch of cows on a debt farm. I've talked about that stuff already, and it's happening right now. Now, some of you, for example, Path, you've been showing me all sorts of interesting materials that basically endorse my own existing beliefs and feelings already, so I don't feel like I'm insane talking about these things here. I feel I have a certain kernel of truth, and I have a right to my opinions on these matters, and I think that inside of America there's probably millions and millions of people who feel like I do. Like, wow, we got screwed. We're getting screwed over, and not only are we allowing it to happen, we're selling it out, okay? America, I don't know if you've noticed, but America since the 1970s has had an incredible relationship with China. Over here, this is a massive slave camp operated by a bunch of thugs in suits called the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. There is a very, very, very beautiful and amazing, mind-boggling relationship, like a marriage, that exists between North America and China. And I think what's happening now is the dark side, the shadow side of that marriage is being exposed. And it's becoming very disturbing, very, very sickening. So what I think is happening in terms of global restructuring, I think it's very much like the tectonic plates, okay? You see these red lines? Thank you to the authors of this picture, by the way. These red lines represent tectonic plates. The tectonic plates are like those bits of the eggshells, okay? And they slide and move around. So if somebody's interested, if anybody's interested, I'd be glad to have a show where I can show you this stuff in much more vivid detail. It's too complicated for me to do it live right now. I can do it live, but the technology to operate, it's too complicated. I can't do it all at once. But essentially, what's happening is, if you think of these tectonic plates, they're always moving around. They're always shifting around. We can't see them, you know. Sometimes we'll see it. Sometimes there will be an earthquake here, earthquakes here, earthquakes here, here, all over here, all over the Ring of Fire. There's always hundreds and thousands of earthquakes all over here. They go on all day long. Most of them we don't see or don't notice. But that's because the Pacific plate is shifting. Okay, this is shifting around. This is shifting around. This is shifting around. And what is happening, I don't know if you can see it or feel it or smell it. I don't know what kind of news you watch. I don't watch too much news. I grab little snippets and then I create my own opinions. I don't gorge on huge amounts. I guess you call it grazing. I like to graze. I like to grab headlines and I check things. And if they resonate with me as they're true, then I will kind of put that up there like a little cookie, like a computer cookie. And then I'll put it all together. And what I'm sensing is a polarization, an extreme polarization along the Cancer-Capricorn axis. Cancer-Capricorn axis over here, okay? And what I think is happening is America, if you think of it as a tectonic plate, is becoming, there's a lot of pressure between this plate, call it China, and this plate, call it America. And because a lot of people on Earth are realizing we're all connected now, interconnected financially, economically, because of the China-America marriage, everyone on Earth is impacted, right? Like over here in Zimbabwe, they're having a terrible time with their economy because of what's happening between China and America. Over here in Beirut, they're having huge problems, okay? In Lebanon and over here, okay? Over here in Argentina, they're really having a lot of problems with their finances, their economy, their politics. A lot of it because of what's happening over here and here. It's all connected. And the primary hubs are here and here, basically the North America and China. And what's happening is everything is polarizing as the United States as an entity is trying to reclaim its identity. And in reclaiming its identity, it is realizing like we, the people, have allowed ourselves to be screwed over by our elected leaders who we, the people, voted into office. And now we're starting to see the very, very dark, shadowy side of our decisions. Like we were seduced. We allowed it. America has enjoyed tremendous benefits because of the marriage to the Chinese slave camp. If you had to make computers and furniture over here, they would be very much more expensive, probably because of union laws and things like that, whatever. But the point that I'm trying to get to is that there is this big polarization that's happening on planet Earth right now, and it's turning into friends of America or friends of China, because that's what happens in a polarization. It's basically like in America we have Republicans and Democrats. Some countries they have multiple parties, but in America pretty much everything has distilled down to them or us, or them or us. And if you're like me, I'm very artistic, musical. I like writing. I'm kind of spiritual. I like to do the tarot and astrology. And by nature, you would think, automatically, you must be a hardcore lefty Democrat. Save the world and, go vote green and, we need political correctness. We need social justice and all that. And I agree, there's all sorts of things where I have a very strong empathy towards things that a lot of people would call left wing. On the other hand, I have a lot of empathy towards things on the right wing. Things like what I think of as the Constitution, like the right to bear arms, things like that. And so, if you didn't know me personally, you'd be shocked to think that, wow, you actually you have opinions that go against social justice. You have opinions that go against political correctness. How dare you? How dare you present yourself as a loving, caring being, as an instrument of the healing power of love? You have no right to do that if you have any kind of allegiances or feelings that leads to a love of America and the Constitution that we have. It's almost like being branded a traitor for being American or something like that. And so I carry both energies inside of me. It's ambiguity, okay? Ambivalence. The ambivalence of left and right, whereas like it's just an illusion. I have left-wing tendencies, hardcore left-wing tendencies. I have right-wing tendencies, hardcore right-wing tendencies, and they all exist inside of me simultaneously. And I have to find a way to manage that. I call that energy management, and I try to conduct my life in such a way that I have a moderated type of behavior that allows for both. Okay? So that's what I do. It's very hard to do. Okay? So anyway, thanks to some amazing, fun, interesting links that people have been sending to me, and I've been, checking in now and again. Like Path Traveler told us about this movie called The Circle. So anyway, let me just go. Oh, I was going to do a reference over here. Give me a second. The Circle. I'm going to make a little list or something. Okay. Actually, I'm just going to talk about it. Sorry, because I don't know. I didn't really make notes. Sorry. So anyway, for example, thank you, Path Traveler. We enjoyed watching these, things on YouTube about zeitgeist. All this exposure of what's happening today and the predictions for 2020. All the conspiracy theories about going all over the world. About how there's this like massive so-called deep state thing which is trying to subvert America and turn the whole world into a massive, communist dictatorship. All owned and operated from here with heavy contributions from Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and all of those from over here. Oh, no. I totally get it. I can easily see that, okay? And then there was this other fun movie called The Circle, okay? Watched it last night, and it's very much about kind of what's happening in America today. It's a very scary movie. It sort of had a bit of a happy ending right at the very end, so I do believe that there is hope. And what I think the ultimate message is that we, the people, especially in the United States, we, the people, we need to wake up. Wake up, wake up, and to see what's actually happening in our country, because we've been asleep for 250 years as we allowed our Pluto cycle to, do its thing, and we have now seen what happens when you live through a Pluto cycle, a 250-year cycle. So each one of us who's here on this show today, on this channel, everyone who's alive on Earth today is going to be going through the side effects of the Pluto return as it affects the United States, because the Pluto return is affecting the United States, and that's going to affect everywhere else in the world, especially when it comes to finance, economics, currencies, politics, and power. Power. A lot of power. China has a lot of money and power now. Thanks to North America. Thanks to the marriage between North America and China. The United States debt farm married to the Chinese slave camp. Okay? We're a bunch of so-called Democrats and Democratic leadership over here in a marriage with some sick thugs over here who operate a slave camp. Please understand, when I'm talking about China, I'm talking about the CCP, the Communist Party of China, but there's millions, hundreds of millions of people in China who do not like the Chinese Communist Party. They don't want anything to do with it. But the problem is if you protest in China, you get shot, you get killed, you get disappeared, you go to prison, okay? If you protest in America, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to bear arms and protest. You can't do that in China, so they're powerless, and that's how China keeps its control. It completely disempowers its own population. CCP operates basically like a thug. It's literally like a thug marriage where one partner uses violence, specifically violence, to get across the message. Like, if you don't do what I say, do what I want, the way I want to do it, I love you very much, but I'm sorry, I have to hit you. That's what they do in China. And they're not shy about it at all. And they're having so many problems in China right now that they can't handle it. So they're trying to project their power outwards. So China is getting very, very aggressive all over here, okay? All over this part of the world. And all these people over here in this part of the world are shitting themselves, because of China's behavior. And there are a lot of people in this world who can't defend themselves against China. And so a lot of people over here depend on North America and our massive defense system to protect and defend these people, which means we're protecting, defending here, and we're protecting, defending here. Also, as you know, America has had very strong alliances with Northern Europe for many years, since World War I and World War II. So America basically protects and defends Europe from the communist Russian thing over here. Same thing over here, same thing over. Anyway, so the point is, United States is in a very pivotal position. We're not the world police or anything, but a lot of people directly or indirectly depend on the United States to hold up a beacon of hope, to protect and defend the rights for freedom of speech. Path Traveler, by the way, you sent another video. I think what I'd like to do, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but Path sent a very beautiful video. I haven't even finished watching it yet, but it's about this girl in Armenia over here. I think it was Armenia. Where was she? Oh, Yugoslavia. Was it? Anyway, it's one of those Balkanized states over here, which was pulverized and crushed by the Russians, okay? And World War I and World War II, and they were destroyed. And this girl was describing what happened in her country in the 1980s and the 1990s with, communist oppression. I'm just going to say it, communist oppression, okay? And how it really, really messed things up for their country. And what she's trying to tell the world in her little video, especially she's trying to tell America, she's trying to send a message from here to America. Dear America, dear Americans, pay attention. Pay an effing attention. You are getting screwed over by your leaders. You're getting screwed over, especially by the leaders over here and here who have deep, deep, deep marital ties with entities over here who want to basically turn the United States into an extension of the China Communist Party, the CCP. Okay? And what this girl is trying to do is wake up, people in America, because if you do not wake up, you're going to end up as being the slave of the CCP. Okay? That's what she's trying to tell us. Okay? So, I agree with her. Most people, from what I can tell in America, are not that concerned or not aware, because they're mostly consumed with being a debt cow. They spend most of their time, and a lot of adult Americans are consumed with debt. And that's just how it is. And so, movies, TV, sports, entertainment, drugs, whatever it is. And a lot of people don't have as much time to really focus on what's really happening here. They just believe what the media tells them. So as everybody knows in the world now, it's generally a well-recognized opinion that in the United States, the what they call the media, the mass consumption media, is highly biased. Okay, and I don't want to get too stuck into the politics there, but I believe that it's highly biased. There's a lot of material that is presented to the American people as a form of propaganda, okay? Propaganda, which is basically mind control to help all the people who have vested interests in North America becoming part of the CCP, okay? To me, it's very sick. And if we, the people, don't do something about it, we're going to end up slaves like these folks over here. I'm not into that stuff, okay? Not over my dead body is that going to happen. And so I think what's happening is America is going through its Pluto return right now, and it's a very disturbing, very frightening thing, because North America and the United States as we know it is being exposed to its own fragilities, its own failings. And it is almost like you can see it. You know, economically, politically, health-wise, it's a disaster, okay? It's like it's a complete implosion. It's completely imploding. This thing here, as we know it, is imploding. It's created destruction. Now, the beauty of it is we have the Sun and Mercury in Cancer and Venus and Jupiter in Cancer for America. So America still has a tremendous amount of power and light and ability to restructure itself, rebirth itself, okay? And that is inevitably going to happen. But it's happening against extreme opposition. And I think the way it's playing out is everyone is projecting. Like America is projecting its power, projecting its dysfunction outwards. For example, devaluing its currency, crushing the dollar. And the same thing with China. So we're kind of in the thick of it. It's not going to stop. Everything that I've just been ranting about are just expressions that millions of other Americans have. I'm just expressing it in my own little way, on my own little channel. And I'm trying to integrate the tarot and the astrology so that people understand that this is historical on a global scale. So what is happening in human history right now is a massive restructuring. And it's not going to happen just like in 2008 or 2000 or the 1970s or whatever. It's going to take years for this to happen, because all this restructuring is moving at the pace of Pluto. Okay? It's very slow. So we've got another 4 years of Pluto in Capricorn just alone to grind over from 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 degrees, okay? It's going to take about 4 years, okay? So please don't expect any relief for at least 4 years. That's my personal belief. I personally believe that things are going to get even more disturbing, more disruptive, more chaotic, I already said disturbing, as we go through the convulsions of the Pluto return. Eventually, starting in about 2024, we will start coming out of the American Pluto return, and we're going to start another 250-year cycle, okay? Okay, so the way I look at it is... Okay, where was it? So the way I look at it is that we are living through the United States Pluto return, and it is diabolical, okay? I mean, every place, every person has a Pluto return somewhere, but right now this is very extreme, and there's intense pressure on the United States, and everybody on Earth is aware of what's happening in the United States and how it is affecting their own culture, their own economy, their own currency, their own money, their own wealth, their own power. And we can't get out of it. And so my feeling is that all eyes are on America. All eyes are on America. It's like, what is America going to do? What are the Americans going to do? Because it's like, we don't know what to do unless America, or until America figures out what it's going to do. And so the way I see it is, well, like we literally have a choice. Are we as Americans over here in America? I happen to be American, and this is where I live. I've lived other places, here, okay? And so I feel very strongly that America will find a way out. America will recalibrate itself. It will restructure itself in such a way that it can reclaim its original core identity as established in what we call the Constitution, the birth of the United States. There are so many people on earth who depend on America to be this beacon of light. They depend on America to be the Leo North Node and to guide, act as a guide. Like, it is actually possible for the people to hold their leaders accountable. And that did actually happen in the early stages of the birth of America. And it was only over a 250-year period, over multiple presidencies and shifts and change in the politics and economics, that people who were elected into power figured out how to hold on to their power, abuse their power, and manipulate their power so that they can enjoy the fruits of their power. Power is probably the most addictive thing on earth, more than heroin, fentanyl, anything. And once you've had a taste of so much money and so much power, you can't let go. So look what's happening over here with places like Google, Alphabet, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, especially Amazon. They are so powerful and they have affected the whole world. They're not going to give up their power just like that because some people are asking for freedom of speech. All those people I just mentioned over there, they are part of what I think of as a conspiracy to push propaganda out there that suits their agenda. Their particular agenda is to try and create monopolistic, tyrannical, totalitarian control and ownership over global information. Okay? That's not good. That's great for them, but it's not good for we the people. Okay? So I believe we the people need to hold our leaders, our plutocrats, our oligarchs, our corporatocracy, we need to hold them accountable. Okay? What's happening right now is we have a president who is borderline insane, by some people's measures. But what he's doing, he's actually standing up to these people over here and giving them one of these. Okay? And he's doing it. And it's causing a lot of problems. It's causing a lot of problems for his own party. It's causing a lot of problems for anybody who benefits from the sick perversions going on over here and over here. They don't want that to stop. And that's the problem. It's just like, if you look at the population of America, we've got 360 million people, and we are fully optimized, okay? But we're dealing with billions and billions and billions of people over here, okay? And I want America to succeed. I want America to come out okay. I want America to come out of its first Pluto return alive. I don't want to have to witness the collapse of the United States forever, because that's kind of what's at stake here. Okay? That's what I believe is at stake. We could literally be crumbled. That could be the end of the American experiment forever. If we, the people, allow our corrupted elected leaders and corporatocracies to get away with the perversions that they are getting away with right now. It has to stop. We, the people, can do that. Are you willing to step up? Well, that's how it is. So we're going to do other shows. Oh, I like your notes, Path. Yeah. I think it's very, very important, however uncomfortable it is, for Americans especially to become more and more aware of the great bounty that we have here. America is historically very turbulent because we have given ourselves permission, the right to peaceful protest, the right to bear arms, the right to freedom of speech, free market economies. You can do whatever you want in this country if you're willing to accept the consequences. You can be a hardcore, hardballing criminal if you want. You're free to do that here. But you have to be willing to accept the consequence if somebody decides to hold you accountable. You know? We have all sorts of hideous, hideous people here. Okay, but we also have something beautiful that nowhere else on earth has. I think we need to play to our strengths. So Path is saying, like, attach a link. Yeah, how can I do that? Because the video is going to be over. I don't know if I can attach it afterwards. Oh, man. How can I do that? Give me a second, Path. I want to just check something, see if I can find a way to get people that link, because it's a beautiful story. She's just a young woman over here, okay? But she puts it so concisely, so precisely. So let me just check something. Stay there. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to see if I can find the link that Path was talking about, because it was a very moving video, and I haven't seen quite all of it, but where is it? Is it this one? Oh no, hold on. Okay, I gotta check something. Bear with me, please bear with me. Okay.
Stop overcomplicating your trading. Keep it simple.
I'm just listening to the video right now, waiting for the ads to play. 3 simple patterns. And
this is my message for the greatest country in the world.
Okay.
In the light of the recent events in the United States,
I'm going to write this on the screen here on a piece of paper. And this is all I can handle right now. I don't have the technical skills or the time to. Okay. The channel is called Viable TV. It's on YouTube. And the actual title of the video is, Wow, this woman issues a warning. This woman issues a warning. All Americans need to hear this, okay? And I've only seen the parts of it. I haven't quite finished watching it, but it's a very profound message. Let me go back over here, see if we're still connected. Okay, so what I'm going to go over here. So this is a video. This is the channel. It's on YouTube. It's called Viable TV. It's on YouTube. And that's the name of the video itself. Wow, this woman issues a warning. All Americans need to hear this. And in a nutshell, her message is to Wake up, America. Wake up, Americans. You cannot see it from inside your own country, but you are getting screwed over. You're getting manipulated and by incredibly wealthy, powerful interests who want to destroy everything that you have in America right now. And if you, the people, allow that to happen, then the rest of the world is going to go down with you. So, it's very, very scary. Okay? Good, juicy stuff. Hello, Heather. Exactly, Heather. We are more powerful than we are led to believe. In fact, the powers that be over here and over here do not want you to know how powerful you are. They want to do everything and anything they can to strip you of your power. Because you, the people, we, the people, are the ultimate threat to the self-appointed powers that be, who have become deeply entrenched and so heavily corrupted over here and over here. Okay? That's what it is. The people in power do not want we, the people, to have our power. They're doing everything they can right now to strip us of our power. I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories going around. There's so many actual bad things happening as well. There's the whole idea of a global China virus. It's kind of a no-brainer, you know, all those key things that you have to do to take over a country, take over a population, is you destroy their health, okay? And then you pump them full of misinformation, divide and rule. You plant messages of fear, and you use that as a way to implement your own evil agenda. And their evil agenda is truly, truly evil. It's all wrapped up in a beautiful illusion. Okay, let me go back to the chart here for a moment. You see what I mean? See, right now, with this very moment in time here, we've had roughly about 7 or 8 years with Neptune in Pisces over here. And we still have about another 6 or 7 of Neptune in Pisces. So Neptune in Pisces is a very, very strong energy about self-delusion, self-betrayal, self-deception, allowing for one's self to be corrupted, perverted, abused, destroyed externally, to the point where it happens within. So America, for example, has become its own worst enemy. America, if you think of this as the house of invisible enemies over here, that's what's happening right now. And America is suffering from this massive delusion that's being propagated onto us by the propagandists. And I think America needs to wake up about how deeply deluded, deeply diseased and sickened that we are. And the invisible enemy is dressed up as our best friends. The invisible enemy is dressed up as our social media, our mass media, all the major news companies, all our toys, our search engines, our TikToks, all our Facebooks. All of those things are dressed up as beautiful essentials for life, that they're fun. You have to have this. It gives you so much power. You can do this or that. But meanwhile, you are being systematically raped in the process. Okay? They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that they're stripping you and mining you of your wealth, of your power. But we need to wake up and realize that. America has the ability to do that. But it's going to have to stand very, very, very strong to overcome the oppressors, okay? Okay? So when you think... Sorry, let me go back to this. I wanted to say something again. When you think of this energy over here, it's like extremely oppressive. It's like the energy of Pluto and Capricorn. It's about, in the United States, it's about making this thing, the corporatocracy, absolute power, absolute wealth, coming through massive corporations and control and management, top-down heavy management, which is what we have in America. And yet where it's opposed by the Cancerian sun over here. So in America, the wealth and abundance of America comes as the output of our amazingly creative, self-expressive solar energy, like Cancer, okay? We do it for the home. We do it for ourselves, for our homes, our families. And so we have, America's born with, Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter in Cancer in the 8th house of other people's money. So Americans are very, very concerned about things like taxes, retirement homes. And America revolted against taxation by these people over here. But now we tax ourselves. But it's become very corrupted because Pluto in Capricorn, which you could say represents the corporatocracy of America, has now become so powerful. And it's become so obviously corrupt and so obviously powerful and so completely dominant that it has basically crushed the energy of we the people. And we the people need to wake up. We need to wake up and say, hold on. We need to take advantage of our Constitution. We need to hold our elected leaders accountable. We need to hold our corporations accountable. They are just bleeding us like debt cows on a debt farm. It has to stop. Something has to change. Right now, there's a huge battle going on across the world with CB, DC, whatever it's called, central bank digital currencies, okay? It's not going to go away. Everything in the world is eventually going to become digital. We've talked about this before. I'm not going to do the show much longer, but I'm going off into a different direction now, but I didn't want to do that on this show. The whole thing about digital currency, the original concept by that guy, Satoshi Nakamoto, I think was his name, is to create a new form of money where the value of your money is protected and defended against the abusers of money, for example, the Federal Reserve. Okay? It's not working. Bitcoin, for example, has been hijacked, and it is now just a speculative item. I'm very interested in it, so I own a little bit of Bitcoin. I want to see what happens. The only remaining stabilizer is gold. At the moment, across the world, we have what are called free-floating currencies. Okay? So currencies can go up and down. There is no standard. There's no gold standard. The nearest thing to a gold standard is the North American dollar, the United States dollar, the USD. But the problem is with this system, and that's why everything is breaking down, is because when the American US dollar goes up in value, that crushes other countries in some way. It crushes our home population. When our North American dollar goes down in value, that can crush other people and our economy and so on. So what happens is, whatever we do here with our American dollar, our United States dollar, affects everywhere else on Earth. And so there are these massive so-called currency wars where, okay, if we're going to deflate our currency, then they're going to deflate their currency. Because if they don't deflate their currency, their economy is screwed. So that means, okay, well, if they're going to do it and they're going to do it, now we have to deflate ours. So it becomes a race to the bottom, a degradation of currencies. And so mathematically, in the United States, we're at the point where it's going to be very difficult to degrade our currency any further than where it is. I think over the next 4 years, the United States Federal Reserve, in collusion with the United States federal government, is going to continue to debase our currency to the point where it's literally going to destroy the dollar, and that will be the emergence of a new world order, a new world financial order, which is going to be based on cryptocurrencies. The shadow side of cryptocurrencies is that everything is digital, so everything is accountable, so we the people can't hide anymore. There's no more privacy in money. That's a very, very terrifying thing for a lot of people. It's terrifying to me. Nobody has a solution yet. Nobody. We can do a whole other show on that. But right now there's no solution. Everybody on earth is trying to figure it out right now. The smartest brains on earth are trying to figure out what the bleep are we going to do now. We're going to have to evolve, grow, adapt, and change in order to thrive and survive. And we, the people over here, whether we like it or not, we're right on the front row. The rest of the world is looking to the United States to do something. Do something about this, and do it properly, and do it right, and do it bright for we the people. Because there's a lot of places on earth who would love to have what we have, the U.S. Constitution, okay? The Declarations of Independence. Most of these places don't have anything like that, okay? They don't have it. They have something similar over here in Australia, over there in New Zealand. They have it over here and over here, but the rest of the world is still under the pressure of a lot of highly corrupted, tyrannical leadership, okay? Anyway, watch that little video. It might help. So, how can I leave this on an optimistic note? Well, I'm optimistic. I truly believe in the vitality of the American people. I truly believe that the American people will wake up to some degree, even though it's going to take 4 years to wake up to get to the point where we do make, graduated decisions over extended periods of time to hold our leaders accountable, to hold our corporatos. We're not going to destroy the corporations. We're not going to destroy Washington or the banking system. There's going to be something that holds the structure together, but it has to be restructured in a way that is honest. We need honest money, honest leadership, okay? In the end, that's what it's really all about. That's what's happening, as opposed to the illusions, okay? So, just to wrap up this video, right now, the reality check police are pounding extremely hard. It's a very vicious Pluto return for the United States. A lot of people can't handle it here, and they're acting out with a lot of violence, okay? It's affecting the American economy. It's affecting American home life, okay? It's very disruptive. And I would say the media over here are doing an incredible job of seducing the American people, deluding, betraying, deceiving the American people. They're doing an incredibly successful job. And somebody has to stand up to that garbage. Somebody has to stand up to the oppressors, okay? The Chinese people are going to try. They're trying to do it, and right now, there's enough people in China who are so sick of the CCP that they're actually starting to revolt, even though they know they're going to go to prison or die. They are so sick of it, okay? So they're having a revolutionary shift and change over here. We're having our own over here. Everyone else is affected anyway. Thank you, China Virus. It's been great. We'll see you next week, okay? I'm going to wrap it up, people. And, yeah, Heather. That's right. See Heather's note there? That's a very good analogy. America is the loving bigger brother to the younger siblings who always get picked on. That's kind of how it is. America can get pretty ugly sometimes, but in general, we're good-natured people. We want the best for ourselves and for the world. We are born with an Aquarian moon on the south node. We want what's best for humanity. We want what's best for we the people. The best way we can do that is to come into our shining light of leadership and heroism and courage and magnanimity and bountiful, truthful, inspiring, creative self-expression. Just as though America was a Leo. Okay? All right. I'm going to leave it at that, everybody. I'm going to play a little bit of song here. It's a Tarot Lumination song called Waiting. Waiting on the Will of Heaven Today. Okay, it sounds like this. I'm going to play it out with this. I'm going to say goodbye. And then I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day too. And we'll see you again either on Sunday evening, Pacific time, or next week. Okay? I'm gonna go see if I can get Bubba. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Do 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 do. Walking in circles, feeding all the birds, climbing up a mountain, looking around. Yeah, yeah, smelling all the flowers, staring at the moon. I listen to the waves come crashing down, down. Oh, oh, I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Smelling all the flowers, staring at the moon. Listen to the waves come crashing down, down. Walking in circles, feeding all the birds, climbing up a mountain, looking around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I'm waiting on the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 ba do ba do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today.